Hello friends, welcome to this video. In this video, I am going to demonstrate hairy root culture using Agrobacterium rhizogenes. So before moving into the video, let me say why should we do this hairy root culture? What is the principle and the applications behind it? So before moving into the actual demonstration technique, it is a long process. It's a 2-day, 3-day process. So let me just give you day-wise process so that it will be easy for you also. First thing is, what is hairy root culture and how do we perform it? So for example, if you see in any plant body, if you take, each organ of the plant can be cultured in the in vitro technique using any of the techniques that I have shown you in the previous video. You can take seed as an explant and you can grow callus. You can take embryo or the cotyledons. You can take leaf. You can even take the nodal region, internodal region. You can take the axillary buds. You can take the flower or the sex organs. Particularly, you can take a pollen grain or a female gametophyte egg or the ovary. You can take, so you can take each and every organ of the plant and you can induce the callus or whatever is your aim of the project, aim of the research work. Based on that, the explant selection will vary. So I have shown you like embryo culture, seed as an explant, leaf as an explant. So many techniques I have shown you, I have given you in this channel. So if you are watching this video for the first time, I will give you the link in the description. Please do go watch all those videos. How do we surface sterilize them? What is the tissue culture laboratory made up of? What and all are the different rooms that we require, and what are the different instruments that we will be using, instrumentation, about the tissue culture laboratory, surface sterilization techniques, all the basic things I have given in separate videos. I will give you the link in the description. Please do refer those videos so that you will have some basic knowledge before handling this advanced techniques like hairy root culture. So it is understood that you can take any organ of the plant to do in vitro technique culture or to do tissue culture. Now, each organ will produce different metabolites. We all know that. For example, if you take Vinca rosea or Catharanthus roseus, periwinkle we call it, right? So that has its anti-cancer compound vincristine, vinblastine in its root. So root produces its very important anti-cancerous drug like vinblastine in its root. So the other parts are not necessary for us. We want only roots. Similarly, if you go to some other plant, like if you go for some other tree plants, the bark will produce some of the drug compounds. If you go for mucuna, there is one plant called mucuna, the seed will produce something called as L-dopa, which is used for your Parkinson's disease and neurological disorders, to cure neurological disorders. So seeds are very important over there. So every organ will produce certain principal metabolite, we call it as, which we are using it in the pharma industries to cure malaria, to cure cancer, to cure so many diseases are there. So you can go on giving list which organ of which plant will give you which metabolite. So for example, we will take Vinca rosea itself here, or the periwinkle Catharanthus roseus. So for example, in its root, the principal major metabolite is the anti-cancerous compound called as vinblastine. So for example, if you are going to the if you want to cultivate them, you have to throw away all the stem, leaf, everything, because we want only the root. So when I uproot that plant after 6 months or after 5 months, after the plant has grown very well, I have to uproot them, because for me the major metabolite is in the root. So I am not worried about the other organs. So I want only the root in high mass. So I will cultivate them in the land, and I will in the greenhouse or in the land, and then I will pluck all the plant material and I will discard the stem, leaf, flower, everything, and only the root will be taken out. So in that case, the other organs or other parts of the plant are being discarded. They are waste. So I am damaging the plant. So that is a boon in tissue culture. That is the application in tissue culture. If I want a particular organ, I can cultivate that only particular organ. So for example, I said I want only roots. So I can cultivate only roots in my tissue culture process. Using in vitro culture, I can cultivate only the root. The plant will never grow into stem, or the plant will not become the entire plantlet. Only roots will be growing on, continuously dividing. So that is why this is a boon for the mankind. We can target a particular organ and we can cultivate them. If for example, if your metabolite is present in any plant of the roots, then you can go for hairy root culture. Why do we call it as hairy root culture? Because thin roots will be developed in mass. So if you just keep one leaf as an explant, you can, from the leaf, roots will develop. That is the beauty of this tissue culture. Leaf I'm taking as an explant, you can take node as an explant, you can take any organ of the explant, but from that explant, roots will be developed. Look at the beauty of this technique. So who is the one that is making this leaf to develop root? That is none other than our own Agrobacterium rhizogenes. So you would have heard Agrobacterium tumefaciens, which causes the gallbladder in case of your other plants. If you go for Pongamia trees and all those things, you would have found small galls like cancerous mass will be there. So if you just take a leaf and see, so many small protrusions will be there. Galls would have been formed. That is called as gall diseases for the Pongamia plant. So Agrobacterium tumefaciens is a bacteria that causes the gall disease in case of plants. So what is gall disease? It is nothing but it's a mass growth. It is a tumor. So what is tumor? Uncontrolled division of cells is called as tumor. So here we are using another bacterium called as Agrobacterium rhizogenes. What will this do? This is also will cause a lot of uncontrolled division, but it will cause in the root. So the roots will become very long, thin, thread-like. If a plant is being infected by this bacteria called Agrobacterium rhizogenes, the root will be having uncontrolled division, but the root will not develop into it will not be developing into tap root, primary roots, secondary roots, tertiary roots like that. Well, division, branching of roots will not be there. All the roots will become very fine, very thin and delicate. But what is the advantage? You can develop numerous roots will be there because it is an uncontrolled division. It is a tumor. It is like a cancer. So it is like cancer that is happening in the root cells. So what happens? The root cells will continuously keep on dividing, but the root will be very thin and very delicate. So we are using this principle in our in vitro technique. What we are going to do? We are going to infect the plant with Agrobacterium rhizogenes. When we infect the plant with Agrobacterium rhizogenes, what happens? The bacteria will enter into the plant cell. So I will just say you the theoretical aspects when I am doing you in the demonstration. Then I cannot speak because I will be doing all this in the laminar airflow chamber. To maintain the aseptic condition, we are not supposed to open our mouth and talk when we are doing any lab work. So all the theoretical things I will be saying you now. In lab I will just be demonstrating to you. So if I take a leaf, I will make a number of incision using a scalpel. I will wound the plant. So I will wound I will take a sterile leaf. So either I can take the leaf from the outside and I have to do surface sterilization technique, or I can take the leaf from the in vitro grown plantlets itself. So if you are having in vitro, if a seed is germinated in the in vitro, I can take them and I can take, so I don't need to undergo surface sterilization techniques then. So directly I can take the leaf from the jam bottles, so I don't have to undergo any surface sterilization. I will make number of wounds. When I make number of wounds, I will then keep it on the Petri plate and I will pour this bacterial solution. This bacterial solution is nothing but Agrobacterium rhizogene. When I pour this Agrobacterium rhizogene, the bacterial cells will enter inside my plant. I will leave it for 15 minutes, 30 minutes or 45 minutes, maximum up to 1 hour you can leave. So once I pour this bacterial solution into the leaf, I will make number of wounds and then I will pour it. Then all the bacterial cells will enter inside the leaf now. Then what I am going to do is I am just going to take the leaf from that Petri plate, I am going to blot it in the sterile tissue paper and then I am going to keep it on basal MS media. In Petri plates I am going to do, not in test tubes, because we require more number of leaves. Higher the number of leaves you are taking, higher will be the transformation efficiency. This is also called as transformation because that virulent gene from this Agrobacterium, it will get transferred to the host plant. So there is certain gene that is responsible for this, right? That gene is called as virulence gene or virulent gene. That gene is the one that makes this uncontrolled mass or uncontrolled division of cell. That gene is responsible. So that is called as gene of virulence or virulent gene. That virulence gene gets transformed from the bacterial cells into the plant cells. It gets incorporated into the plant genome or the host genome. So that is why we are calling it as a transformation technique. So I hope this much is clear. We will pour the bacterial cells into the Petri plate. We will wound the plant and we will keep it there for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It depends from one person to person, plant to plant. It's all trial and error. You have to standardize your own protocol if you are doing any hairy root culture experiments. Then what you are going to do is, then after that you are going to take the leaf after 20 minutes or 30 minutes. You are going to take a tissue paper, sterile paper, and you are going to blot it on that, and then you are going to place it on normal MS basal media for 2 to 3 days. Why is that? Because now only the bacterial cell has entered inside my plant. The gene wouldn't have entered in a short duration. Only my bacteria cells has entered inside. Now what I am going to do, this bacterial cells has to replicate inside the plant cell. Into the host cell, this bacteria has to replicate. So I am giving it time. 2 days, 3 days I am going to give it time. After 2 days or 3 days, what I am going to do, now what would have happened in these 2 days or 3 days is the bacterial cells would have replicated in mass, and the genome, the virulent gene would have entered into the host genome and it would have incorporated. This and all are the process that would have occurred in 2 to 3 days. After 3 days, it is just a trial and error. We cannot just seeing the plant, I cannot say whether the virulent gene has entered or not. So until the hairy roots, if it is growing, then I can confirm that virulent gene has entered, or else the gene has not entered. So we have to leave it for longer time, or the strain is not that much virulent. So we have to see that. So as soon as seeing the leaf, I cannot say whether it has entered the plant or not. So after 2 to 3 3 days, thinking that the viral genome, the bacterial gene has entered into the host genome, thinking that I will take the leaf from that MS media and I will give it a wash with antibiotic. Now what will happen? Infection would have happened. You will get contamination, right? If you leave it for more than 2-3 days, the media gets contaminated and the plant will not grow. So whatever the bacterial cells are there now, it should not grow. So whatever has entered into the plant cell, let that be there. Whatever gene has entered into the host genome, that also will be there. The bacterial cells should die now. So I will take the leaf material from the MS media and I will give it a wash with antibiotic solution. Usually we use ciprofloxacin, cefatoxime, carbelicin. So any antibiotics you can use. So the concentration will be between 400 to 500 mg per liter. So that will be the concentration, 400 to 500 mg per liter. Cefatoxime, carbacillin, so ciprofloxacin, any of the standard antibiotic tablets that you get, you can use that. So then what you're going to do is, first you're going to make the antibiotics in sterile distilled water. You're going to give a wash, I said you. So I have to add this antibiotics to my sterile distilled water inside the lab, and then I will wash this plant nicely. I will rinse it with this antibiotic distilled water for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I will rinse it. After I rinse it, then I will change it into new media itself. So that old media should be discarded after 2 days. Then after 2 days I will take this explant, I will give a wash with antibiotic solution. Then I will place it into the MS basal media itself with antibiotics. Even in that MS basal media, antibiotics should be there. In the first media that I am keeping, there should not be antibiotics, or else all the bacteria will die. They will not replicate and the virulent gene will not be transferred. So in the first media that I am going to keep immediately, that is, there should not be any antibiotics. After 2 days or 3 days, I am going to change the media. I am going to wash it with antibiotic water, and then I am going to keep it on another fresh set of media. In that media I should add antibiotics in the same concentration, same antibiotics you can add. Once I add that, you can live for few days, you can live for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You can keep it either in light also, you can keep it either in dark also. Again, it varies from plant to plant. So for trial and error, to standardize, you can keep few petri plates in light condition, few petri plates in dark condition, to see which gives you good results. You can see that after 3 to 4 weeks or after 2 to 3 weeks, what happens? If you're keeping 100 plants, all 100 plants will never give you roots. Only 5 or 6 plants will give you small, tiny, hairy root-like structure will be given. That is called as transformation efficiency. Now those 3 to 4 plants that is giving me small roots, hairy root growth, that I will transfer into a new petri plate, and once after 2 to 3 weeks I am going to subculture them. Once it is starting to give high masses of fruit, then I will transfer it into the liquid media. I have already showed you how to do liquid media, cell suspension media and all. I will transfer it into cell suspension, the conical flask. In one conical flask, 1 gram of fruit or some one root you can put, that will continuously divide and that will give me mass of fruit. So this is the principle or the theory of the hairy root culture using Agrobacterium rhizogenes. So I hope the theory or the background aspects is very clear, why we are doing, what is the principle, what is the application and all those things. Now first thing, what do you require? Let us go to the requirements. You will require Agrobacterium rhizogenes. So this is my Agrobacterium rhizogenes. I have already cultured over here. So you should use LB broth. So some strains will differ in different media. So usually for this strain, MTCC strain, I have taken Agrobacterium rhizogenes MTCC strain and I have cultured in LB broth. I have cultured, and one more thing is you have to leave it for 48 hours. It is a slow growing bacteria. Usually whenever you are doing any microbiology work, we just leave it for 24 hours and we keep it for 37 degrees Celsius. That is for normal bacteria. But this Agrobacterium is a special bacteria. It is a slow growing bacteria, so you have to leave it for 48 hours. And one more thing, you have to maintain the temperature at 27 degrees Celsius. Very, very important thing. You have to maintain the temperature at 27 degrees Celsius. Normal bacteria in the incubator, we set the temperature for incubator at 37 degrees Celsius and we leave it for 24 hours. But don't do that for Agrobacterium. Agrobacterium, if you keep 37 degrees Celsius, the efficiency will go off, the virulence gene will be lost. Plasmids will be coming out of the bacteria. So in order to prevent that, what we are going to do, we are going to maintain the incubator temperature at 27 or 28 degrees Celsius, maximum 27 to 28 degrees Celsius, and 48 hours you can live, and normal 150 RPM. It has to be continuously shaken, it has to be continuously agitated, so we keep it at 150 RPM rotation per minute. So that is the first thing that you require. Now we require in large. So there are many strains. If you are taking from glycerol stock, take a loop from glycerol stock and dissolve it in the LB broth, or if you are having quadrant streaking, pure colonies if you are having, you can take from the quadrant streaking and also you can do that. That is what I have done. So I have got a pure strain. From that I have made glycerol stocks, I have made quadrant streaks, all those things I have made. Once I made sure that quadrant streaking is a confirmation to know whether I am having a pure colony, single colony is there or not. For example, if you see this, I cannot say there is only single colony, whether there is only Agrobacterium rhizogene or if there is any other contamination, I I can't come to know, because all bacteria will give me turbid solution. So in order to find whether there is single colony, whether it is pure colony, I will take a loop and I will do quadrant streaking. So from that will give me that will help me to know whether my colony bacteria is isolated single colony or whether it is having contamination. So whatever glycerol stock you are getting or strains you are getting from elsewhere from the micro cultures like this, make always quadrant streak. Once you are sure that it is pure culture, take a loop from that and make it into broth like this. So just one broth in 10 ml is fine. This is my culture. Now I have two different strains, but I will be just showing you in one strain. So you can see it has become turbid solution. So take that bacterial broth which is highly turbid, that ensures that more bacteria is there in that. First step what I am going to do is I need LB broth, which is autoclaved sterilized LB broth. So this is autoclaved sterilized LB broth. To this I am going to add some 1 ml or 2 ml of broth. So this is the bacterial cells are there in that. So make sure it is pure culture, it is not contaminated. So I have taken 50 ml of broth in 250 ml conical flask and I have autoclaved them and sterilized them. To this I can add 1 or 2 ml. So you can add more itself so that we will get more growth very soon. So maybe 2 ml to 3 ml I will add the solution to this, and then I am going to keep this in the incubator. So remember the temperature 27 to 28 degrees Celsius, 150 RPM, leave it for 48 hours. So after 48 hours now you can see it is a clear solution. After 48 hours I will show you how this solution would have turned into turbid. So look at the solution, it is very clear and it is very clear solution, transparent. So after 48 hours, this would have also turned into turbid solution like this. Then I should check the OD to know how much bacteria is there, whether the bacteria is in actively dividing stage. If you see that S-shaped growth curve of bacteria, lag phase, actively dividing phase, all those phases would have studied in theory. So I want my bacterial cells to be in actively dividing stage. So I will take the absorbance of this at 600 nanometer. I will take OD or the absorbance at 600 nanometer. The absorbance should be between 0.8 to 1. So take the absorbance at 600 nanometer, wavelength nanometer, the OD or the absorbance should be in the range between 0.8 to 1. That indicates that your bacterial cells are actively dividing, they are in active stage, they are not reached the death stage, lag stage. So if not, if your bacteria cells are, if your absorbance is between 0.5 or 0.6, leave it for a few more hours, leave it for 8 or 10 more hours, or leave it for one more day also, if the absorbance is very low. That indicates the cells are in active stage. So this is the first day that you have to do. This is day 1 of Agrobacterium culture or hairy root culture, where we are going to take the any bacterial strain, Agrobacterium rhizogene strain, and we are going to inoculate into the broth. This we are going to pour it into the petri plate. That will be your day 2 stage after this. So after 48 hours, day 2 in the sense after 48 hours. So I hope this much is clear. So after 48 hours, I will just say you how to proceed on. Thank you.